Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Leisha, and welcome to this celebratory interview as part of The Real Show. I'm so excited today because we're doing these interviews to celebrate what people are accomplishing, what they're producing, what they're growing, what they've created. And I'm so excited because this has been a year. But in spite of that, we're doing great and amazing things. So I'm excited. I know I've said that 3 times, but I am because I have been following this young man for a very long time. And I'm grateful that we get to experience his music and creativity. So, y'all give it up wherever you are for Big Al Cherry.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I am well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good deal. Good deal. So, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
I'm a hip hop gospel recording artist from the Northeast Louisiana. I've been doing it for 20 years, and
Hold on. Don't tell people how many years. It kind of dates us.
oh, I don't. You know what? I was so. Let me tell you something. I feared turning 40 and being in hip hop and just being who I am until the year that I was turning 40. And I started to realize that I was like, man, I'm actually turning 40. And so, and that was a couple years ago, so I'm actually not even worried anymore. I used to be like super worried, even about this right here. Like this, I used to dye my beard. Like I dyed my beard for years because I started to gray early. It's weird that my hair is not gray. My hair is jet black, but my beard, my face has always been, turning white, And so I was dyeing it for years, and for some reason, about 3 years ago, I developed an allergy to the dye, and it caused my skin to burst open and everything like that. So I can't color it anymore. So I had to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing else I could do except cut it off. And I was like, you know what? No, you know what? I'm glad to be 40, and especially if we're talking about 2020. I don't think anybody will complain about being the age that we are.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's some people who we wish, in our families or in people that we're connected to, our families, I'm sure that they wish that they could say they celebrated a birthday in 2020.
Right.
So, I'm very grateful. I know that, by dating myself, I know that some people look and say, you still doing hip hop? Yeah, I'm going to do what I'm called to do. So I'm not worried about my age when it comes to that, because I still haven't tapped the potential to what God has given me to do. So I haven't scratched the surface. So I'm grateful, but yeah, but I've been doing music for quite a number of years. Outside of that, I've always been kind of dual or multi-professioned. So I actually taught high school mathematics for 13 years. And now I am here at a radio station here in Northeast Louisiana. That is a full power terrestrial FM Christian rap and R&B station. And I do the morning show, and I'm the music director. So I do all the programming and stuff. So it's pretty cool, So that's what I do outside of doing what I do as far as traveling, doing concerts, doing shows, and speaking engagements, things like that. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I think I remember about the radio thing, but
I don't know. Yeah, you're
radio
in
is
radio,
my
so
thing. Like
Yeah. I know you're at Praise 107. You know what I'm saying, doing your thing. I know you recently celebrated like 2 or 3 years now.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I certainly know. Of course, I know the Jacksonville area. As a matter of fact, one of your cohorts in Jacksonville, I had him on the station doing a syndicated show on the weekends for a number of years here. But you know what I'm saying, like we are, continue to thrive and grow and everything like that. And so I'm very excited to be here, part of that. But of course, the main thing that I do is, I get the chance to share the gospel via music and also speaking. So yeah.
And I actually love that you're in radio. Just indulge me for a minute because
Yeah.
so I've been in the radio industry for over 20 years. So and I've done everything, program director to board op. And
Which is how we met at the Stellar Awards many years ago.
yes. And so, like, I I think it's important for people, especially, artists, and especially in gospel, um, to understand all of the facets of what they're getting into. Like, intern, if they're young, intern at I mean, we can't do it now, but intern at like
Right.
a marketing place or a label or something. Like, do things that aren't your art, because that
Right.
you can do that. All of
Right.
the other things you don't even know anything about. So how about you find out what it takes to get on radio. Find out behind the scenes. Why you mad because they won't play your thing on radio, but you don't know the steps that you have to take as an artist to get it on radio and to get charted and all of those things. So I'm very excited that
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to talk about that today, because that would be a whole
Yeah.
other interview.
Right, indeed. But one of the things that a lot of people did not know was the day after I graduated from high school, I started my first radio job. I worked at a very, very small gospel radio station in Stark, Louisiana, and it was only on the air. It was on the air from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. every day. It would go off of the air at 6 p.m. and then come back on the next day at 6 a.m. And so I had started doing something that was really something. The sad part was that was back in the day where we used to use these masking names.
Mm-hmm.
So my name was not Big Al Cherry. My name was AC Love, and not only that. We started this show that they dubbed something for the young people. So I literally, they actually extended the workday until 8 p.m. so that I could do the specific show from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. that was directly geared toward young people. And so I
Wow.
literally played every great tree artist that you could think of at the time. So I played Antonius, Prime Minister, Lil Rascal, New Wine, played all those guys. And then in my own personal research of the music, because I didn't even know anything about, you know, gospel music that had like an R&B sound or hip hop sound until that. And so I was playing A1 Swift, and then I was introduced to Dietrich Haddon, and then introduced to Tone, and introduced to Commissioned. And so, I started playing all these guys, in those evening shows, in that evening show. And it was pretty cool. And then we had a very unfortunate situation, that caused us to have to close the doors there. And, and so I just did, I just, worked and did ministry for years. And then there's another radio station here in town that I started volunteering at to do a show on Saturday nights. That was a bridge of a hip hop and a rock Christian show. I did that for a number of years prior to coming here. So, I've been in radio for a while. I just never told anybody because it was like, just like what happens now when people find out that I'm in radio, and I'm pretty sure you know that, Alicia. It's like, oh my God, man, it's dope. That's dope. The next thing you know, you get an email and it's got 75 songs in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like, and that's not a problem. And the thing of it is, with me being a music director here, I have complete autonomy. So I listen to all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, it's like, you have to understand that, there's a consumer out there who tells me, what, we like this, we don't care for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily I wish I could point to somebody else and say, hey, man, they pick the music here. I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But, I run into those situations every now and again. But I've been in radio for a while. This has been a very, it definitely, as you said, it's a learning experience. And it helps you understand the nature of the business a lot more, when it comes to BDS spins, when it comes to, reporting to ASCAP, CSAC, BMI, and all that stuff, paying licensing fees and stuff. It's crazy. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, you just spoke my language. Thank you. But okay, so I'm gonna ask this question, then we'll get back to the regular questions. Did your radio experience help you become better as an artist?
No, my radio experience actually made me understand that every radio station was not going to play my music. It actually made me understand that my music would probably never make it to radio. The style of music that I do, being that some people dub it Christian hip hop, some people call it gospel rap, some people call it positive hip hop, whatever you want to call it. The style of music that I do, there was not a space for it. So, so when I would go to, because there was a thing, I tell people this all the time. If you listen to Christian rap music from about 2008 to about 2017, 2018, the music started to sound very popish. It started to sound like we were all trying to go for some CCM appeal so that CCM would play our music. Right. Because for the most part, gospel stations were not open to Christian hip hop because, just being honest, it's still, pulling teeth in some respects for African American churches to, kind of go with this whole Christian hip hop thing, Christian rap thing. It's like, so they started making this music try to sound that way with hopes of getting on the radio, and it's like it didn't fit their format. As much as they love you, their listeners who support these Christian radio stations, they don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Not holistically, not the ones who, give money to the stations and everything like that. And so the problem with that was, it was so uniquely, it helped me in understanding that, what, I'm not going to, I may not ever have music that gets played on radio. So am I okay with, understanding that, if I'm like, I had this song I did years ago. I said, if you're a holy hip hop artist, then you're probably insane, because the bane of our existence is to bring about a change. And if you're in it for the dollars, then you'll only make some change. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like I had to understand that I'm not necessarily possibly going to get rich in this. So am I called to this? Because if I'm called to this, then I'm going to do it, whether radio plays it or not. So being in radio helped me open my eyes to understanding that the demo, that the targeted demo for these radio stations, and not only that, the consumers, the listeners, and the supporters, they don't necessarily care for my style of music all the time. And because of that, they're probably not going to play it. When Toby Mac, Mandisa and Kirk Franklin had a song that they did together, and it was a message on racism years ago. And it was the biggest song ever. But a lot of contemporary Christian music stations would play the song without Kirk Franklin's part in it, because they thought it felt like rap. Right. And they weren't going to play rap on their stations. So it was a very, 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 like, that was very telling in itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now it helped me understand that, listen, I'm probably never going to make it to radio. So let me just do it anyway, because this is what I'm called to do. Lo and behold, we at the time here in Northeast Louisiana, when we launched, we were the first full power terrestrial FM Christian rap and R&B station. And then there were some others that popped up around. You had Engine in Houston, and you had Boost in St. Louis. And then, there of course, y'all got down there in Florida, hot, down in Florida, and everything like that. So, there were things that were popping up around the way. But even those now, just to be honest, they kind of go to a more mixed sound or more pop sound, because it was like, man, we alienate our listeners by playing Christian rap all the time. And we've just been some idiots that keep playing Christian rap all the time, around here. So I've been very grateful for that. So a lot of artists are, the worst part of my situation is that I'm in such a unknown territory. Like, Northeast Louisiana is not anything that people kind of identify with. When you think of Louisiana, you think of New Orleans, or New Orleans doesn't have this station. So there's not an appeal and a draw for people to come up here. The only thing people knew about here was our neighbors, the Robertsons with Duck Dynasty. So they were like, I don't know if I want it, what I'm saying? So it's that kind of thing. So all that to be said, just kind of tied it all up. What I learned, radio did not help me with my music. It helped me understand that my music will probably never get placed, and it actually helped me sharpen my vision and my call to do this regardless of if I ever got a penny from it.
Well, then my question was, how did it help you as an artist? So I think it helped you as an artist really define what's your, you know, that and solidify that this is my purpose, so I'm going to do this.
I can go with that. You're right.
I understand what's out
Yeah.
here now. This
Yeah.
ain't going to be for me, so I'm going to do what I've been purposed to do, what I've been called to do.
Right.
And, you know, listen, if this is my purpose, then it's going to get somewhere. I don't
Gotta
need
do
radio for this.
it. Gotta do it. Don't need it at all. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
But in that, as you're walking in your purpose, what are we celebrating this year? How are you thriving in 2020?
So I finally completed my last project. That is the cover art to it right
Whoop,
there.
whoop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my kindergarten graduation picture. The title of the album is Alford, which is my first name, and it's 9 tracks heavy, and it's a full-fledged hip hop album that I was very excited about putting out. I released it on my birthday this year, which was September 1st, and we just released a new music video for one of the songs called "Pull Up." Will be that is available on YouTube right now, and I actually launched a campaign that went along with that called "Pull Up and Vote. Our Voices Matter," and it was really my way to kind of mobilize and galvanize millennials and Gen Z who were able to actually get out and vote. Because I'm a person who recently, I've just admitted this year that I haven't voted in every election. I haven't, and it's because I literally hate politics. I hate politics in government. I hate politics in the workplace. I hate politics in church, and
Mm-hmm.
so I hate politics. So because of that, a lot of times that's not my thing. So I stay away from it. But I think that I guess me being older, I started realizing like it is important for me to exercise my right to vote, and so I wanted to just start educating myself on things, and wanted to share that with millennials and Gen Z, and even people my age who would be willing to listen, and just try to mobilize people to get out and vote this year. So we dropped that video and that message, that campaign, and it's been going very well. And then we're about to shoot a video for a song called "I Need You" that features my brother and best friend in the entire world, Claude Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very telling song. I had this idea to create a movie on the album, and this video is probably going to be like a miniature movie. It's probably not going to be your regular video. It's not going to be 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm very excited about that. And so I've just been excited, just excited about, and celebrating the fact that I was finally able to put this album out after delay, getting it out. And so it's been good.
That's awesome. And I've heard it and I love it. And I told you that. And I don't think I'm biased because we're friends, but I appreciate the people around me who are creative and who create amazing things. And you, sir, are one of those people. So thank you for putting out your album this year. And
Thank you.
I'm definitely looking forward to. I interviewed Deuce the other day, and he told me about you guys doing a video. I'm just wondering where my invite went. I guess it didn't come in the mail. It's fine. Maybe next time. But what I do want
What didn't come in the mail?
my invitation to be part of this movie.
You're very welcome to. You're very welcome to. What is it? November the 20th.
Don't tell the
November.
people.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
I'll be there. I know where I'm from. Uh, so in celebrating this and doing all of these things, did you plan to put out an album this year?
So the plan was to put it out last year.
Last year, right?
And then I tell people 2018 was the best year of my life. 2019 was the worst. And then we rolled into 2020, and I had plans to put it out, I think, 3 other times. And so it just fell to where, everything kind of, was like, well, it would make sense financially and feasibly to drop it on my birthday. And so that's what it was. But yeah, I hadn't initially planned for it to be this late coming. But God does all things well.
Absolutely.
And so I ain't tripping at all.
So what was your greatest hurdle in putting this out, and how did you overcome it?
Money. So again, with the fact that I'm an independent artist, and of course, like I said, you don't count life into your plans a lot of the times. You don't count life into it. It's like
Not at all.
it's like yo, it's like yeah, man. Next year I'm believing God for X, Y, and Z, and then D and E happens, and you're like, wait, whoa. I didn't count for that life experience to take place.
Right.
So, my major hurdle was finances. Not last year so much as this year. This year I had 19 events that got canceled due to coronavirus,
Right.
and that's a huge chunk of my income.
Right.
And when I stopped teaching school and I came here to the radio ministry,
Mhm.
I took a significant loss in income.
Mhm.
And so the events that I do on the road actually, they're there to supplement my income now.
Right.
Whereas when I taught school, it was a bonus. It was like everything was going right back into, but now I got to pay bills with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, so whenever everything happened and everything kind of shut down with COVID-19, it really threw a monkey wrench into the entire game plan. So the biggest hurdle was finances, and then after that, it was my own mental stability because, it was like I was really like I was like, what am I gonna do? Like this is weird. It was just a weird time, and so those are my biggest hurdles this year, as far as getting the album out and everything like that.
But you overcame them. We have an album with amazing music.
Hey, God is good. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
he
Like that's
is.
just really what it boils down to. Is like He is good. Just made a way out of no way. And I'll tell you what, it really felt like the rookie season when you like are so excited about it. It's like so you save up $10 here, $20 there, so you can go into the studio and record. That was literally what I was doing with the last two songs of the album. It's like I was saving money back so I got to get in the studio and record. I got to save some money so I can get it mixed. I got to save money to get it mastered. And
Mhm.
so, I was literally in that place, but it's like, for some reason, every time it needed to happen, it happened. And that's just proof positive as to, God being able to prosper you in a pandemic, to bless you. You know what I'm saying? When it looks like there's no reason, no way that he continues to do so. So
Sir, hold on. I ain't been in church in a while. I'm about to get happy.
yeah.
So what did you learn about yourself in the process?
I learned that I have been afraid of me for a long time, and I've been so afraid of me that I haven't dealt with conversations that I need to have with myself, let alone with other people. And so I was left to the loud voice mm, of my own inner self, and I'm I'm yet dealing with that now, and trying to just grow from that. And I mean, it became loud as day. He was like, "Yo, man, you got some things that you haven't dealt with. We need to talk. Do you know who I am?" And I was like, I thought I did, you know, and I realized that for years of my life I've created a character for the public. That's not who I am, and learning me. And so that's the best thing that has happened from this time. I'm starting to find out who I really am. So,
And that's awesome. So just gonna tell you now that I'm mad at you that you tried to shout me. Now you're gonna make me cry. But that is so important, especially, we were quarantined and left alone to our own processes to think about and rethink about life and how it looked and how it went and all of these things. And so over the summer, my son was with his father. And so it was just me in the house. And like, I'm like, what am I hearing? What is this? What is going on? oh, this is my
Right.
brain telling me all of these things I need to do. And you know, that's a thing I too am still working through, like all of the things, because before the pandemic, like literally before the pandemic, I bought a house and I bought a car last October. So within 6 months, I had these new things, and I was like, "Oh, I have these things lined up so I can pay for it." And then the pandemic happened, the whole country shut down on my birthday, and I was like, you know, I knew I was gonna party hard. I didn't know I was gonna shut the country down. You know what I'm saying? So I had to sit and think about and pivot and all of these things that, you know, they said we had to do, and
Right.
and I realized that left to my own devices, like I'm like, ooh, I thought before the pandemic, I had finally gotten to a place where I'm like, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So, you know, if I don't work, I don't eat, ain't no life,
Right.
ain't no nothing. I don't have no 9 to 5. That's just going, you know, I don't have no PTO.
I got you.
So having to sit with myself and overcome the thoughts I had about myself
Right.
was crazy and ridiculous. But then understanding why I did some things, what I hadn't dealt with, what I had just pushed all the way back in the corner, and now, you know, I'm being pushed to that corner to deal with that thing. I think I know that it has made me a better person, a better mother, a better businesswoman, a better whatever, all of the things that I am. It's made me better because I've actually had to face things that I hadn't and I didn't want to face.
I understand. I understand. Granted, I understand it. So that's actually, you know, I actually last late last fall, early winter, I started going to therapy, and so I'm actually just I'm just completing a year. I'll be completing a year next month, and you know, I'm just like, you know, the pandemic, you know, definitely put me in a place where it's like, yeah, I'm glad I started when I did. You know what I'm saying? So that I could be, you know, dealing with that while this is all happening. So
Right.
I'm very grateful, you know what I'm saying, to what is taking place. There's some things that I wish I could have changed, but you know, nonetheless, all things work together. So I ain't tripping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I'm glad you brought up therapy as a point. Therapy is awesome and it's needed. I think a lot of people, not just, I'm going to say Black people and Black church people, run away from therapy. I don't know what kind of voodoo they think it is, but you know, there are a lot of issues within communities of color that could be staved off and even
Right.
rectified if we would address these issues, if we would address
Yeah.
these problems, if we would.
That's the
And that's
that's
what
the biggest
therapy
thing is
does,
addressing them. Yeah.
right? That's,
Yeah.
you know, it's helping you uncover and unearth some things so that it's no longer an obstacle. It's no longer a thing that holds you up, no longer a thing that holds you back. So you can do the things that you've been purposed to do and called to do and put here on earth to accomplish. So kudos to you for recognizing that about yourself
Hey,
and going.
I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? I was telling my counselor last week that I remember watching Dave Chappelle, one of his stand-up specials, and he said that he checked into a hotel and he used the name Charles Edward Cheese. You know, the person that he was checking in as. And he said that after he got done with his show, he came back to his room, and on the table there was a note, there was a letter addressed to Mr. Cheese. So he was like, what is this guy to be an intimate friend of mine? You know what I'm saying? Because nobody in the world knew that I would check into a hotel under that name. He said, but he opened up the letter and he started reading it, and he realized it was a fan letter. And that this fan, you know, really loved him, but was disappointed in some of the jokes that he had made about a certain community. And he said, after he read the letter, he did something that most Black men are not given the opportunity to. He thought about how the letter made him feel. And I told my counselor, I said, for so many years of my life, I just kind of suppress it. It's like something hits me, I'll be like, "Ah, okay." And then I just move on. And it's
Mhm.
like I never have thought about how I felt. I've never thought about, you know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes I reacted, you know what I'm saying, like immediately, but not literally thought about how I felt about a lot of things. So now I'm starting to learn how to think, process how I feel about things. So I'm working on it.
Oh,
So
that's great. And I really do applaud you for taking the initiative to
thank you.
do that. And
I appreciate it.
I believe that um, your music will be better because of it, and that you'll find more creativity as you unearth some things, and some things that you never even thought would come up and come out
I
of
agree.
will
I
like
agree.
change the world.
I agree.
So, with all that you experienced, all that you've done, all that we're celebrating today, what encouragement would you give to someone facing 2020?
Keep living. Let me tell you something. My grandmother, I remember my grandmother, God rest her soul, lived to be 90, 99, no, 98, 98 years old. And I used to make jokes about it. I used to say, gee, your mustache getting a little thick. And she'd say, you just keep living. They say, you old. Look at how you move. You keep living. You know, that's what she would always say. And, you know, I just want to encourage somebody to keep living, you know, every day. And I mean, in this sense of the word, keep doing everything that you can daily to put one foot in front of the other and move forward. Like a lot of the times when things like this happen, man, it can hit us so hard that we don't want to move anymore. We don't want to go. We just sit here and say, man, I'm done. I'm through. No. Keep living, keep moving, regardless of whatever, what mistake, who left, who stayed, what's happened. Keep living, keep moving, regardless of what is going on. So, if there's any word that I can give anybody in 2020, it's just keep living, keep going, don't stop, get it. You know, I remember Claude and I were talking, and we were talking about the whole, like somebody had made mention on Twitter or something. I think it was that they missed the Holy Hip Hop Awards that used to be in Atlanta. And I was telling somebody recently this story about years ago. Canton Jones. Canton Jones was he showed up to the Holy Hip Hop Awards, and he made everybody snap their fingers on the beat. And he said, "I want y'all to say these words with me. Say on the beat, I want you to say it like this. Say, I won't stop. Like I won't." And so what happened was, while everybody was saying that, he would fill in the middle. So it's like, I won't stop. And he was like, if they take my song off the radio, I won't stop. If I have to push records in the snow, I won't stop. Like he just was just going, and was just testifying to the fact that regardless of what comes his way, what tries to hinder him, what tries to block him, he won't stop. He wouldn't stop it. He's gonna keep going. And that was on his Kingdom Business album that came out years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that song ministers to me to this day. It's like I won't stop. And I just want to encourage anybody else, don't stop. Keep living. Keep moving. There's purpose yet ahead for all of us. So keep doing it.
That is awesome. Thank you for that. I'm not gonna cry because I feel like that was your purpose today, but we'll talk about that later. But thank you so much for being part of this, and we look forward to more things coming from you. Can you tell the people how they can find you?
Yeah, on Instagram, search for at the Big Al Cherry, TheBigalChery. And of course, the same thing on YouTube, the Big Al Cherry. And yeah, holla at your boy. Link up. We'll be dropping a new website on the new year. So the website is kind of obsolete, but we're planning some cool things for it. So I'm very excited about that. But until then, Instagram and YouTube, search for the Big Al Cherry.
We'll definitely do that, y'all. Thank you again, Big Al, for being here. And thank all of you for watching and celebrating with us today. Now, if you haven't gotten a chance to watch any of the other ones, please check them out as we're celebrating people doing big and amazing things. Make sure you like, subscribe, whatever platform you're watching or listening, like it, whatever. Do what you need to do to make sure that you get these videos and you can celebrate with us. And until next time, you guys have an amazing day. We'll see you later.